On Saturday, March 11th at approximately 9:40 p.m., a call was received by Smith County Sheriff's Office dispatch via 911 regarding several individuals fighting and 2 people being shot at a trail ride in the northwestern part of Smith County. The caller advised that gunshots were still being fired. The first shooting was reported to have occurred in the parking lot of Spring Creek Baptist Church located at 13915 County Road 46 in northwestern Smith County. As the first deputy was on scene with the shooting victim and witnesses, the dispatcher advised him there were additional shots being fired farther back behind the church near the cemetery and that another individual had been shot. Due to the large number of people attempting to leave the area, deputies had to drive between the cemetery and the church to make access to the second shooting. The people exiting were blocking the path of emergency vehicles. Responding deputies advised there were probably about 500 or more individuals at this location. A stage had been set up for a concert as observed by the responding deputies. The second individual had been shot near the stage. Deputies heard 4 to 6 gunshots coming from a field to the right of the stage as they were going back towards, farther towards the second shooting. And then they subsequently heard another volley of 3 gunshots. As the first arriving deputies were advancing towards the area of the shots, a group of witnesses told the deputies to keep going forward to locate where the shots were coming from. As the deputies advanced further, they have observed 3 black males, later identified as Israel Ortiz, born in '96, Sir Ricardale Ortiz, born in '93, and Jaquethan Medlock, born in 1996, walking from the area where the shots were fired from. The 3 individuals were observed to attempt to hide behind a vehicle. They are all observed to be holding firearms. The deputies gave them verbal commands to drop the guns they had in their hands. None of the individuals complied and were observed to throw the guns behind the vehicle. 4 handguns were later collected as the vehicle moved. All 3 of the subjects had blood on their clothing. The 3 subjects also were later detained and arrested for felon in possession of a firearm and also discharging a firearm. Numerous agencies, including Texas Parks and Wildlife Game Wardens, Tyler Police Department, Henderson County Sheriff's Office, Smith County Fire Marshal's Office, Bullard PD, and the Texas Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol responded to the scene, and we would like to thank them for their assistance. All 3 individuals initially been charged with deadly conduct, discharge of firearm, and unlawful felon in possession of a firearm. Again, $10,000 bond set on each by JP number 1 Derek Choice, and all 3 individuals have subsequently posted bond. And I'll entertain any questions.
This happened last year. We had an incident similar to this, and you guys stressed the importance of getting permits and doing all that. Did this group do that, or
there were no permits issued nor or applied for.
Do you know the exact title of this trail ride?
I've got a flyer I will get to y'all. I'll email it to you.
Do we know if the people who hosted this event, do they have any on-site security of their own?
There were 2 so-called security individuals there, but I don't believe they were armed, and they were just taking up money for the event.
now that it's kind of warming up, do you expect more of these kind of events to start happening?
Well, we expect more, and we would like to know about them before they happen, and we could have responded to this and much better and maybe stopped this before it happened. But when you wait until there's 500 people or more that gathered there in a local place like that with barely get 2 vehicles past each other, it's very difficult. We didn't even get involved in the horse riding, trail ride part of it. This was during the concert part of it, which usually happens afterwards.
And you talk about that, these trail ride events, it seems a lot of times, especially these in recent years, there are more people there just as guests for the concert, the entertainment part, than those actually saddling up and doing what we would traditionally think of as a trail ride. These events they're different these days, is that right?
They're different, and quite frankly, the trail rides themselves, there's usually younger children there. I don't know what the youngest was that we saw there that night. We're still in the infancy stage of the investigation. I just came from downstairs. We've got numerous detectives working on this. We had, as you heard me read the list of people that had to respond, those are people that left their locations, their counties even, because of crap like this. And I promise you, if we know about it, it will be stopped before it starts.
Hey Larry, this, the church was there, a cemetery was there. Who actually owned the property where the, land, where the concert?
We're still checking into who owned the property there. If I'm not mistaken, when we were working the church fires back in 2010, I think that's one of the churches that actually burned on, off of, Willow Branch Road, maybe. And the best I remember is just a church with no fencing or anything. Even from the church to the cemetery, it's all wide open back into the woods. So whether they had permission, who owned the church, who owned the property behind the church, we don't know yet, but we will know before the day is over with.
When it comes to the person who put on this event, the promoter, or whatever you want to call them, will they be fined or cited? Are you guys in talks with it?
If there's any charge that we can find to charge them with, absolutely they will be charged. Anybody that we can find to charge with this incident that didn't apply for the permit, was out there. We have other people that had firearms out there. We had people reporting firearms as being stolen, and that's an old trick. We're on to their trick. You know, you get caught, you have to throw your firearm down. Somebody gets shot with your firearm, and you call it in stolen after the fact. We weren't born last night. So those tricks won't work. We're going to do our due diligence in our investigation. And again, everybody that can be charged will be charged, and they might as well get ready for it.
Now, because they're collecting money and all, are they susceptible to a tax if they're not paying the county the taxes on the concerts and stuff?
Well, there should be, I'm assuming, state tax, county tax, all kinds of tax. And we'll use any statute we can to make sure this stops. And again, we're not trying to stop anybody from having fun, but each and every time one of these trail ride combination concert events happens, just almost every time you can set your clock by it, is going to have a shooting. And undesirable people ruin the fun for everybody else. I mean, 3 people that dropped guns at one time behind a vehicle, all 3 were convicted felons. That's what this breeds. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate for the people that are trying to have fun, have their children out there, ride horses, go on a trail ride, and then this happens.
Now, there were basically 3 different locations. Church parking lot, the stage, and then where you heard sounds in the woods.
Right.
Do you believe these 3 guys were involved with all of that, or are y'all still looking for possibly other people involved?
We have information already. There are different people involved in shooting firearms themselves. We're trying to find them at this time. As to whether these 3 were responsible for both shootings or one of the shootings or whatever, we have recovered shell casings. We've recovered projectiles, and we have NIBIN, National Institute for Ballistic Identification Network, that we will be entering those shell casings into, see if they match up to the gun. The guns, firearms will also be turned over to the Department of Public Safety Laboratory here in Tyler, to their firearms experts, and they will be analyzed there as well for the projectile. NIBIN just does a shell casing to the gun. The projectile will be done by DPS, and they'll test fire the firearms and do their due diligence and getting all the information we need in that respect.
Overall, what message do you want to send the public?
The message I would like to send the public, especially the public who are in close proximity to where this is occurring, or if they know it's going to occur, let us know up front. We had no idea this thing was going on until the gunfire. And I'll tell people that want to second guess the sheriff's office doing their job, doing their due diligence. We've got 960 square miles and of area to cover. And we have other people, honest people, law-abiding people that need our help more than people like this, and I'm not talking about the entire trail ride concert, I'm talking about the convicted felons, the ones that want to pull their gun out because they're cowards and shoot at people.
Those individuals, you said they had blood on their clothes. What, did they have injuries? Was it theirs?
They had no injuries. Their clothing was taken. That'll be analyzed to see whose blood it was, as to who was shot or who was. There was an altercation there, a fist fight that I saw on one of the video cams. So they had blood from that, but not the amount of blood that we saw on these. It's most likely from a shooting victim.
Have y'all been able to collect some social media video of these?
We're in the process of doing that as we speak, Alan. We're collecting anything we can. We have pretty much most of the persons crimes detectives working on it today, and they won't stop until they get everything put together.
Considering the large amount of people that were there, is there a good number of witnesses that you guys have been able to speak with?
I just listened to, I think, 10 or 12 phone calls coming in from the area to dispatch. There are all multiple witnesses that were identified as we were going in, and what I've just described to you in this release is what the first two deputies on the scene did. I haven't even talked about, nor have I had the opportunity to see what happened when all of the agencies that I named made it up there. But I can assure you that a lot of them got away before being identified, but we have other ways of identifying some of these people. So that will be going on probably this week and part of next week. And again, it's unfortunate that we have to use our resources on one event like this that could have been prevented. Had somebody that known it was going to happen, let us know. We would have stopped it before it started, and it would have happened in another county somewhere.
You mentioned the resources. How many people at the sheriff's office do you have work in this case?
Well, how many work in this case is probably about 15. That's just a guess. That's our persons crimes. But also you had all the man hours that were from different counties, different state agencies, and different agencies that were there at the time. And our patrol deputies that responded. They had to leave other areas of the county that they're protecting up in the northeast, the southeast and southwest. They had to actually leave those unattended to respond to this.
Now, last press conference, we talked about making sure they got their licenses, permits. Have anybody filed any of these permits since that time?
No permits have been requested nor any produced.